Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another Is It Worth the Price? I know it's been a hot minute. A lot of the recent figures that they've announced and showcased, they're not really on my radar, so forgive me. Unless, of course, you all don't mind and you'd like to hear an Is It Worth It on those, let us know down below. But today's video is all about Vizsla, otherwise known as the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. A lot of us may remember the previous release, which is the kind of 1.0, maybe this will be more of the 1.5. We'll get into that shortly. So the photos are still coming soon. This just went live as of right now, maybe 5 minutes ago. I wanted to jump on this as soon as they posted it to get this out of the way for you all. So the first thing we notice, as always, is the price tag, priced at $285. We'll compare this in a minute. So $285 for Vizsla, and it's expected to ship between April of 2024 and September of 2024. Due to the new website design, chances are you feel like you have to put this in the cart before you can see the flex payments, but go ahead down here to the flexible payment options, drop this down, and you'll be able to see how much those flex pays are. Max number of payments are set to 5, and don't forget to change the payment date every month. We know the drill, right? The NRD is set for $28.50, and the flex pays start at $51.30 beginning in December. Don't forget to apply that before you check out, obviously, because that would suck if you didn't. You have to go through customer support, yada yada. Next, we have the About Me section, which is actually pretty important, so we're going to burn through this pretty quickly. Vizsla is a brawny warrior encased in the strongest Beskar armor. A descendant of the esteemed House Vizsla, he comes from a long line of leaders spanning the centuries. Sideshow and Hot Toys are excited to officially present the Vizsla 6-scale collectible figure. The highly accurate collectible figure is skillfully developed, featuring detailed helmet and armor pieces with amazing weathering effects, a finely sculpted jetpack, highly detailed and articulated heavy blaster with the ammo belt, a blade, an energy shield, and a themed figure base. Now, the more important part, which is here, there will be more Mandalorians to come for your Star Wars collectibles collection. This is the way. So in terms of the details, we know that it's Vizsla, where it's from, all that good stuff. But what's in the box is very similar to what we've received in the past. The hands are the same. We receive 8 pieces of interchangeable hands. Granted, the relaxed hands are on the figure right out of the box, but they put it up there anyway, just because why not? The costume is exactly the same. The weapons, there's only one change here, which is the energy shield, which is attachable to the left van brace. As for the accessories, everything else is pretty much the same. The specially designed figure stand, this is actually different, but we'll talk about that shortly. As for the additional details, they talk about the purchase limit, which is 6 per person, the height, the box size, all of that good stuff to get you ready. So as for the photos, we don't have them here on Sideshow, but we do have them over here on Facebook. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off here. I'm going to go ahead and go through all of the photos, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on the controversy, what the differences are, my opinions, all that good stuff shortly. So right away, we have the energy shield on display for the main photo, which is Vizsla. Very important, right? Because the first thing you want to see is the difference between what you currently have versus what they're selling, and again, it's not that much of a difference. As we move on, I did want to note the contrast and the desaturation that they use in their post-production. I don't think this is something that they should do if they're selling to their customers. Leave this to the bloggers. You'll definitely see the color changes throughout the rest of their promotional material. I don't like it when they do that, because I feel like as a company, you should show me what I will receive in hand, at least as closely as you can through the camera lens. But again, he's a brawny figure. He looks great. The first thing that I notice, obviously, is the base and the nameplate change. Vizsla, you have a graded design. The original design is more of a textured sand base style, but it's not necessarily the sand base with the footprints. As for the name tag, it would showcase Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, versus here it's showing Vizsla. Everything else, from the nicks and dings to everything on the armor, is literally the same. Here we have the energy shield on display. There isn't a magnet, unfortunately, on the previous release of the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. I tried to check that this morning, and there wasn't nothing there. Again, the same photo, just a little bit punched in. It looks like okay, yeah. I wonder what kind of material this is going to be. If it's going to be plastic, a harder plastic, flimsy, similar to what I believe the Battle Damage Mark 85 shield was. Hoping not, because that would suck. Now, I did notice that they put the scene inspired by the Book of Boba Fett. Even though this is a Mandalorian release, chances are they didn't want anyone to think, okay, hey, if you missed out on the Book of Boba Fett, we're not spoiling anything from the season 3 of The Mandalorian, so we got you. Scene inspired by Book of Boba Fett. Great shot though, looks good. It almost looked as if the photographer didn't want to deal with the reflective surface of the newer Mandalorian, so they swapped out some of the pieces so that they wouldn't have to worry about that. And again, nothing else really to see here apart from we do have the blast effects there for the jetpack in the previous release. The machine gun is the same. There's nothing different here unless, nope, the buckle is still plastic, and even then that's not that big of a change. It's just a great figure, man. Like I don't think Hot Toys foresaw this being a named character anytime soon, so that's why it was just heavy infantry Mando, and they're like, oh, stop production, here's Paz Vizsla. I don't know. Same photo from earlier. Another great shot here. Again, see, you can tell that this is the recent release of The Mandalorian from season 2. It's just they swapped out the armor, I would imagine, for the photography. I'm not seeing any changes at all there. Same photo, just a different perspective. And again, yeah, I feel like they also changed this portion too. I would love to know just how far this photographer went to change out some of these pieces. Because the piece on the season 2, at least that portion of it, it's a lot dirtier than that. So it's making me wonder if they just swapped out the vest portion and maybe added the knee guard, which isn't that difficult to do. Another great photo. We get to see the energy shield there again. Looks good. Same hands, same everything. The previous prototype here on the, what I would probably say is maybe the grappling hook portion. The previous prototype on the heavy Mando was red, but in the final product, that was gone. Same shot, just a twisted van brace. Yeah, again, everything that we see here, we've seen for the most part before. We've got the vibroblade from before. We have all of the hands, and the armor looks the same. The hands are actually the same too. I know when you go back to look at the previous release, the only ones that are missing are these two. And I believe maybe even the saluting hand. Other than that, these are the same. You get the relaxed hands, quote unquote, on the figure right out of the box. You got 2 fists. You've got 2 gripping hands for the machine gun. You've got the vibroblade hand. And again, as previously mentioned, the saluting hand. So with that said, let's go ahead and double check the price tag, which is at $285. Heavy Infantry Mandalorian set at $281. Now, again, I'm just happy to see that this isn't crazy high like $320 or $325 or something like that. For just $4 more, if you missed out on this, this is a great time to pick this up. Unless, of course, you don't care about an energy shield or whatever else and you want this particular release. I have seen him going for much cheaper, believe it or not, on Facebook and Mercari, sites like that, but more so in the Facebook groups than eBay and the like. So for the current pricing that they're asking for, I don't think it's bad. So this is something that we knew was on the way because they showcased the Paz Vizsla figure back during the Star Wars Celebration event. Now, as for the controversy, obviously it's a straight reissue and there are barely any changes. But again, we knew this was coming since last May. So as I stated earlier, Paz Vizsla became the named character in the Book of Boba Fett, and in fact a lot of the photos throughout their promotional material are scenes pulled from the Season 1, Episode 5, which is Chapter 5 for the Book of Boba Fett, as seen here. Now, one of the possible changes, but it's very hard to say, could be a deeper paint application, but again, because of they kind of went with a low saturation, low contrast. Let's see if I can find a photo here. These are so desaturated to a point to where the van brace here doesn't look brown. It looked black in some of the photos, almost gunmetal, if you will. It's very hard to tell because of the way they desaturated it. Again, a release for The Mandalorian, I would probably wait to pre-order this guy unless, again, you just really want him. You know, that's your thing, but considering they did have a low batch before for the heavy Mando and now they're re-releasing Paz Vizsla, it makes me wonder where his story arc is going to go and if he's going to be an ally or is he going to be an enemy. Obviously, through some of the trailer bits that we've seen, it looked like he's going back to Navarro and probably tearing things apart. Who knows? Because obviously they're out for blood, revenge, and all that good stuff. Who knows? I just think Hot Toys probably learned of his significance a little too late and probably decided to lower the batch size from before and then just put this one out with more of a named piece. But I could be totally wrong. So getting back on topic though, is 285 too high? Is Paz Vizsla in comparison to the heavy infantry Mandalorian worth the price? I'm gonna say yeah. For $285, it's only $4 higher. You get a couple extra pieces. Chances are, again, you will get an updated paint application versus what we see here. You can't lose. It's not that much higher. I know people are gonna be upset, but it's the Mandalorian. They gotta hype it up. Now you have Paz Vizsla. I'm gonna say it's worth the price. He's a fantastic piece. This is actually one that I've been thinking about redoing for the review since he was an earlier review for the channel. Before we head off, we do want to bring to your attention, we did just start the join feature here over on our channel. For those of you who would like to become producers, I don't want to spoil the trailer too much, but go ahead and check out the trailer, check out the loyalty badges. These are all custom made by us, and see if this is something that you'd like to take part in. We showcase the behind the scenes features for our lighting, for our photography. You get early access to our unboxing and reviews, and we have more on the table. So let us know what you all think. And as always, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.